back to you, our dear viewers. Still with us in the Saudi Morning Show. That was our cartoon segment. It's humor cartoons. So we have different types of cartoons. Some cartoons are maybe into economics or politics and trying to deliver a message, and some of them to draw a smile on our faces. But moving to the next topic and our next discussion of the day, which is our weekly segment with Mr. Anwar Al-Nakhli. He's the Business Development Manager. We're talking today about volunteer work. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Anwar. It's a pleasure having you with us again. And Mr. Anwar, we are talking today about volunteer work, and we just had a segment about cancer patients, talking about Tafa'ul group. It's all about volunteering. It's 25 people who are volunteering to support those who are suffering from cancer. And those 25 already suffered from cancers and fought against cancer, and now they are at a very good health. So we'll talk about the volunteering. How important is volunteering for ourselves, like for the human being, to develop his skills and to be positive and to be given back to the society?
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, volunteer, it's before it's an important, it's something related to the religion actually as well. There is a saying that says that if whoever does a volunteer, it's good for him. So it's very important. If all of us we volunteers in our life, it's good for the society, it's good for the people, for everything. So it is really very important, and there is a lots of positive impact on the self-development. So it is very important.
So talk about the personal development. It's so positive, and it would give a push for the one who's volunteering.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
I feel like, volunteer work is something you have an opportunity to go ahead and give the extra help. Even when those help is not really asked for, it's something that's self-initiative. I feel like it's something that helps anyone around, the young ones especially, because I feel like when they volunteer, they have that extra courage, that extra oomph in their spirit.
Yes.
How important it is, especially at a young age, that the parents, role models, kind of guide them into volunteer work, and what's their personal benefit from getting it?
Yeah, well, actually, it's very important to engage our youth people, the children, to the volunteers, because at the end, the objective of being a volunteer is to help the society and even to help the environment. So we all we know that. The volunteer, it's a work without a return of investment or a return of financial. There is no financial in that. So it's as you have mentioned, it's a self-initiative. But we have to push our kids. I'm not sure if this is in nowadays, if that's still valid or not. In the old days in the school, we used to have these volunteers people, right? For example, in the morning, to set up the line, to clean the schools, but I'm not sure if that's still valid nowadays. But that starting from home, helping the elderly people, helping the children or the brothers, they help themselves without expecting something in return. That's the most important.
Working for free.
Working for free, it is.
If we may say. Actually, volunteering, as you mentioned, from early age, and sometimes we are volunteering without knowing that we are doing some volunteer jobs.
Yep.
Because we got used to do extra things.
Yeah, if you have seen maybe some of the, I'm sure it happened to you when somebody stopped you on the streets and asking for a guide. So you'll just tell him, please follow me, I will take you there.
It happened with me today, but unfortunately I didn't know the direction that he's trying to say. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so
but usually we do things that...
it does, yes.
Yeah, we're not 100% knowing that it's volunteer working. But as you mentioned, it's from the early age. In colleges and universities, I guess this is something that is supported. In the United States, there is community service, there is volunteering.
It's popular because as I have mentioned, there is institutions specifically for volunteer job. In the school, I have done it in the university, for example, in the library. It's starting from there. So if we also be having such this experience, the abroad experience for volunteer, I think it will be really, really. You will see something really good on the volunteers.
Indeed, and especially volunteer works, especially when a lot of major companies here in the kingdom, I don't want to mention names, but they when they go ahead in the initiative of volunteer work to clean a park, to go ahead and offer assistance to or something for health benefits, especially giving back to community.
True.
It's not only just giving back to community from the company, it's the society giving back to society.
Exactly, that's how it should be.
I feel like it's like if they say it's like no, someone else will do it, and everyone has the same mentality, nothing will be accomplished.
Absolutely.
So it just comes down to it's like whether for us it's like we just find a day that we have nothing to do, or go ahead and schedule that that morning or that afternoon, you know, assistance, because I feel like one helping hands can make a difference.
Absolutely.
You ever heard of the saying like one vision can go ahead and make into a dream, into a reality?
Yes.
And this is what I feel is like volunteer work, especially for the parents. We know in the summer when they ask the kids to go ahead and go to the park, create a cleanup drive of the park or anything like that. Because I feel like something that's very beneficial. If you give back to community, the community can also give back to you. Absolutely. At the moment, the viewers will be taken to our short report and we join right after this about this very important discussion, volunteer work. Stay tuned.
Back to you, our divas is still with us, and we are still talking about volunteering and the importance of volunteer work with Mr. Anwar Al-Nakhli, our expert. He's a business development manager. Mr. Anwar, usually when we say volunteer, most people would think it's only about the physical movements that you are doing, the things that you could be able to do, but there are different kinds, I guess, of volunteering, like volunteering with supporting people with money, especially for those who are old in age and they have the money to support, and sometimes supporting with the knowledge, like giving the book or giving advice. What are some of the other kinds of volunteering?
Yeah, for example, there is a loss. If you're talking about the non-physical part of it, for example, helping the students, the scholarship students, you're giving advice, you're giving some knowledge, you share some experience.
Encouraging too.
Encouraging, exactly. There is another, I mean, if you give an advice from either from your personal life, sharing some experience, you're just trying to civilize the people. I mean, that's you're trying to civilize the people. It's about civilization, how you will make a civilized environment by sharing knowledge, by sharing an experience, without expecting anything in return. It's as you were mentioning, it's a work for free.
And Mr. Anwar, actually, I think we need to only direct like give the right direction for the Saudi youth to be volunteering. I know that most of them are willing to do so, and they have the time. Like one day I read in the newspapers where the traffic lights went off. Some of them just like parked in the middle of the street and
then they guide the people.
I started doing the traffic police job until they arrive. So we're talking about people who are willing to volunteer, but how to give them the right direction?
I think it is there. If you see in the society, people, they are willing. If you see in Ramadan, I think most of us we've seen that people, they stand on the traffic, they just give people to, I mean, they give food to people. So it is there, but the important thing, as I was saying, if we have a well-organized institutions that they will take the lead in taking the people, putting the rules and how it should be. That's, I think, because now we're just doing this from our own. There is no guidance for
we need a leader for each group.
There should be a leader in that. Just to give an example, I was really amazed when I saw this. There is a district in Al-Madinah Munawwara where it's a small district in Al-Madinah. So the people who lives there, once upon time, the cleaner of that district, I think there was a strike or something. So they took by themselves. They agreed that they will they will clean the district for 1 week. I think they were cleaning the district by themselves without waiting for the cleaner to come and do that. And it was really and a great job. I have seen it. I was really amazed when I saw it. So they took the initiative by themselves. So that's a kind of a volunteer as well.
That was the initiative, because I feel like, you know, when you make initiative, instead of just waiting for, say, a promise, or just say, I'm waiting for that person to go ahead and take the person's initiative. Yeah. One question I'd like to ask you is, like, many people think it's like volunteer work, just something just giving a helping hands, but they don't understand of how satisfactory it can be. It's like, because some of the drives I see, whether it's raising money about cancer around the world, whether it's raising money about education, whether it's a drive for a purpose or something like that, volunteer work can reach many different aspects of it. Any last words of advice you'd like to tell our viewers of how they can be that one person that actually make a difference?
It's happiness.
Happiness.
Happiness. You're just trying to make the other society, the other people happy. I think it's about happiness, and it's about self-confidence, I think also. But it's the most important, it's happiness. Yes. I'm trying to share, to let other people happy.
Actually, we're trying to deliver a message through this discussion. And with this, Mr. Anwar Al-Nakhli would like to thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but we're trying to encourage everyone to be a volunteer.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks. Okay.
And our dear viewers, as we were talking about volunteering and encouraging the youth to volunteer and use their time, we know they have like a long spare time and free time. And it's good to be using it on something that is beneficial for them and for the society. We hope, inshallah, you liked the segment and you learned something new. And for now, it's time to move to our next report.